Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into the work of Jim Collins.
Jim Collins, yeah.
The guy who basically spent over a decade researching what makes companies great. You might know his book, Good to Great.
Oh, yeah, it's like...
The business Bible.
Yeah, a business Bible.
Yeah.
So he didn't just pull this out of thin air.
Oh, no.
Right.
He and his team, they analyzed thousands of articles.
Oh, wow.
They did countless interviews
Right.
to get to the bottom of what separates those good companies from the truly exceptional ones.
So get ready for some serious insights today because
nice.
we're going to unpack two key areas from Collins' work.
Wait.
Building a killer team and selling outstanding products.
Love it.
We'll even touch on some really fascinating concepts like level 5 leadership, the power of a stop doing list.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know, right?
Yeah, you might be surprised by some of the stuff we uncover.
Because it really challenges a lot of the conventional wisdom
Okay.
about leadership and success.
All right, let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
So Collins, this is his thing, right? He's adamant that it all starts with the right people.
The right people on the bus.
He calls it getting the right people on the bus.
Yes.
Right? And he's very specific about that.
Well, he is very specific.
It's not just filling seats.
No. It's not just about filling seats.
It's about finding the right people.
It's about finding those individuals who are completely aligned with the company's values and culture.
Makes total sense if you have,
Yeah.
if everyone's rowing in different directions.
Yeah, you're not going to get very far.
You're not going to get anywhere.
You're going to end up going in a circle, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't just theory.
No.
There are people who actually put this into practice.
Yeah. Olga Fedoseeva.
Olga Fedoseeva, the CEO of UnityQ.
UnityQ, yes. Yeah. She puts this into practice every single day.
So tell me a little about her and her company.
So her company, UnityQ, actually helps businesses with HR.
Okay.
And she really prioritizes finding those people who genuinely connect with the company's mission.
So it's about finding people who are passionate about what the company does.
Absolutely.
Not just ticking boxes.
No, it's about finding that spark, that alignment.
Got it. And I know that both Fedoseeva and Collins, they warn against rushing that hiring process.
Right. That's huge.
So even when a company's growing really rapidly, they say it's crucial to be patient and find the right fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't compromise.
Don't just bring anybody in.
Exactly.
Because you need the right people.
Right.
And this actually leads us to a really interesting concept that Collins calls Packard's Law.
Packard's Law.
Have you heard of this?
Oh, this is a fascinating one.
Tell me about it.
So basically it says that a company should only grow as fast as it can hire the right people. So imagine trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation that's not solid. Yeah. It's just not going to work.
Right. It's going to crumble.
It's going to crumble. It's going to fall apart.
And I actually remember reading about a tech startup.
Oh, yeah.
That expanded too quickly. And they ended up with a team that wasn't aligned at all.
Oh.
And it ultimately led to their downfall.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of Packard's Law in action.
And it really highlights the importance of having the right leadership in place.
Absolutely.
To guide that growth.
Yes, and that actually leads us perfectly to one of Collins' most intriguing concepts.
Ooh.
Level 5 leadership.
Yes, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
This seems to really challenge that whole idea.
It does.
Of what a powerful leader looks like.
It totally does forget about that stereotypical image.
Right.
Of the charismatic, attention-grabbing CEO.
Yeah, the one who's always...
on magazine covers.
Yeah.
Level 5 leaders.
Yeah.
They're often described as humble.
Okay.
Driven by a deep sense of purpose.
Okay.
But they're not seeking the spotlight.
So they're not motivated by ego or personal recognition?
No, their focus is on the company's long-term success and empowering their teams to shine.
So they're kind of working behind the scenes.
They're the ones working tirelessly behind the scenes
to
make sure everyone else has what they need to succeed.
That's a refreshing perspective.
It is.
Especially, in today's world.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone's always vying for attention.
It's all about me, me, me.
Yeah, exactly.
But Collins' research shows that these humble, purpose-driven leaders are the ones who consistently guide companies to greatness.
Which makes you think, maybe it's not about having the loudest voice in the room.
It's not.
But about having the clearest vision.
And the strongest commitment to the team's success.
Exactly. And that actually segues perfectly into another point that Collins makes about motivation.
Okay.
And this one might surprise you.
All right, lay it on me.
It's not all about the money.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You mean a fat paycheck?
Yeah.
Isn't the key to happiness and productivity?
It's not the be-all and end-all.
Wow.
So while fair compensation is definitely important,
yeah,
Collins found that it's not what truly motivates people to do their best work.
Interesting. So what is it then?
People crave a deeper sense of purpose.
Purpose. Okay.
They want to feel like they're contributing to something meaningful.
Yeah.
Something bigger than themselves.
Okay. I can see that.
Right? I know for me, I'm way more motivated when I'm working on a project that I'm passionate about.
Absolutely.
And that I believe in.
Totally. And that actually ties into Collins's belief in building teams that are inherently self-motivated.
Okay, so you have a team.
Imagine a team where everyone is driven by a shared purpose.
Right.
And they're intrinsically motivated to do their best.
You're saying they don't need to be?
You don't have to micromanage them.
Micromanage.
You don't have to constantly push them to perform.
Wow.
If you've got the right people on the bus,
yeah,
they will excel without needing someone constantly looking over their shoulder.
That challenges a lot of traditional management styles.
It really does.
Right.
Yeah.
It suggests that the best leaders are the ones who can create an environment where people feel empowered.
Empowered, yes.
To take ownership and thrive independently.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
We start talking about developing outstanding products,
yeah,
which is what we'll dig into next.
Okay, so we talked about building this amazing team.
Right.
But how do those teams actually go about?
Yeah. How do they create those?
Creating products that truly stand out from the crowd.
The standout products.
Right. And this is where I think Collins introduces this concept that I think is so useful.
Okay.
The stop doing list.
Oh, the stop doing list. I love that.
It's so simple.
Yes.
But so powerful. So, we all have our to-do lists, right?
Of course, our to-do list a mile long.
Right.
Yeah.
But Collins suggests that we also maintain this stop doing list.
A stop doing list.
And it's basically a list of activities that might seem important on the surface, but they're actually draining your time and energy.
Right. They're not really moving the needle.
Without really contributing to the big picture.
Yeah.
It's like decluttering your workflow.
It is. It's getting rid of all that busy work.
Yeah.
That's not actually contributing.
And I've actually started using this.
Oh, really?
And it's been a game changer.
That's awesome.
I used to feel so overwhelmed by all the little tasks on my plate.
Yeah, all those little things.
But once I started identifying and eliminating the things that weren't truly essential, I found I had so much more time and mental energy to focus on what really mattered.
That's exactly what it's all about, you know? It forces you to get real with yourself about what's truly adding value. And what's just creating noise.
And it's so easy to get caught up.
Oh, it's so easy.
In those seemingly urgent tasks.
Yeah.
But we really need to take a step back sometimes and be like,
and ask yourself,
is this really helping me achieve my goals?
Right, exactly.
This kind of leads us to another one of Collins' really insightful analogies.
I love his analogies.
I know, they're so good.
Yeah.
He compares the process of innovation to a chick hatching from an egg.
A chick hatching from an egg.
So tell me about this egg analogy.
Okay, so think about it. When we see a groundbreaking product or a sudden success story, right? It often feels like it happened overnight.
Yeah, it's like an overnight success.
But Collins argues that these breakthroughs are usually the result of a long, gradual process of development.
So not just this magical aha moment.
Well, those moments of inspiration, they definitely exist.
Sure.
But more often than not, true innovation is the result of consistent effort. Discipline, experimentation, and a willingness to iterate and refine your ideas over time.
So less about sudden stroke of genius, and more about showing up every day.
It's about the process.
Putting in the work.
Yes, and that can be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
For some folks,
For sure.
Who expect innovation to be this quick and easy process.
Right.
But Collins reminds us that true greatness takes time, dedication, and a lot of behind-the-scenes grinding.
Which is probably why so many companies struggle with it.
It's so much easier to focus on those quick wins and short-term fixes than to commit to the long, often messy process of true innovation.
And speaking of thinking long-term, Collins also emphasizes this importance of facing uncomfortable truths.
Oh, yeah.
He found that truly great companies don't just sit back and celebrate their past successes.
No, they're always looking ahead.
They're constantly looking ahead.
Anticipating future challenges.
So like a healthy dose of paranoia.
You could say that.
Always being on the lookout for potential pitfalls.
It's about not getting complacent.
Right.
Even when things are going well.
Because what worked yesterday.
Yeah, because the business landscape is constantly changing.
Might not work tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's a valuable reminder, especially in today's fast-paced world.
Yeah.
Where it's easy to get so caught up in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
And lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah, so how do you actually make sure you're not just burying your head in the sand?
Yeah, do you have any tips?
That's a great question. I think one really effective strategy is to regularly schedule time for reflection and strategic planning.
Okay.
Like block out time on your calendar.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month or even once a week to step back from the daily grind.
Yeah.
And ask yourself some tough questions.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Things like, what are the biggest threats to our business right now?
Okay.
What are the biggest opportunities we might be missing? What are the assumptions we're making that might no longer be true?
I love that it's about proactively identifying those blind spots and potential challenges.
Before they turn into major problems.
Before they become problems.
Exactly. And part of that involves creating a culture where people feel comfortable speaking up.
Oh, absolutely.
Sharing their concerns.
Right. Because sometimes those people closest to the work are the ones who see the problems first.
They're the ones on the front lines.
Exactly.
And this goes back to what Collins calls authentic listening.
Authentic listening.
It's not just about, giving people a chance to air their grievances.
Right.
It's about genuinely seeking out diverse perspectives and truly considering different viewpoints.
So you're not just hearing.
And then taking action based on that feedback.
It's about integrating their ideas and making them feel heard.
Exactly.
Which I imagine leads to better products.
It does.
And a more engaged workforce.
It's a win-win.
Okay, so we've talked about building a great team.
Yes.
Fostering innovation. Confronting uncomfortable truths.
Facing those uncomfortable truths.
There's one more concept from Collins that I want to dig into.
Okay, hit me.
The curse of competence.
Curse of competence.
What is this curse and why should we be wary of it?
This is one of Collins's most thought-provoking concepts.
Okay.
He suggests that many companies get stuck being good at something, but never achieve true greatness.
Interesting.
Because they become trapped by their current competencies.
So they're so focused on what they're already doing well.
They're like, well, this is what we're good at, so this is what we should stick to.
That they don't even see the bigger possibilities.
But Collins challenges us to ask a different question.
Okay. What's that?
What could we be the absolute best at?
Wow.
If we focused our energy and resources in a new direction.
That is a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It's about identifying not just what you're good at.
It's about what you could potentially dominate.
But what you could potentially dominate.
If you really set your mind to it.
It's about being bold and ambitious.
And willing to step outside of what's comfortable.
Step outside of that comfort zone.
To pursue true excellence.
You nailed it. It's about not letting your past successes limit your future potential.
Wow. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's easy to get comfortable, sit at a certain level and forget that.
Yeah.
You could always
room for improvement.
Yeah. There's always room for growth.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of us probably relate to that in some way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But Collins's work, I think, is this powerful reminder.
It is.
That greatness isn't like a destination.
No, it's a journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
It's about constantly pushing yourself, challenging your assumptions.
Yeah.
Never settling for good enough.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into the world of Jim Collins, what are some key takeaways that our listeners should really hold on to?
I think first and foremost, that emphasis on building a rock-solid team.
Right.
It all starts with getting the right people on the bus. Yeah. Individuals who not only have the skills, but are also deeply aligned with the company's values.
Right.
And they're driven by its mission.
Because you can have the best product idea in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But without a team.
It's going nowhere.
To execute it.
Exactly.
It's going nowhere.
And that leads into the second big takeaway,
Okay.
Having that crystal clear vision for your product and a disciplined approach to development.
Yeah.
It's about being patient, persistent, and willing to put in the time and effort.
And not being afraid to let go of things that aren't serving that vision.
Absolutely.
That's where that stop doing list comes in.
That stop doing list is crucial,
Yeah.
Regularly evaluate your priorities.
Make sure you're working on the things that matter.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to cut the things that are just weighing you down.
And I think finally that concept of the curse of competence.
Ooh.
Such a powerful reminder.
It's a good one.
To never stop learning and growing.
Never stop growing.
And pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
Absolutely. It's all about challenging those assumptions, questioning our ways of doing things, and always being on the lookout for new possibilities and opportunities for improvement.
So to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question.
Yes.
To ponder.
Okay.
What's something they can reflect on based on what we've discussed today?
Think about your own to-do list.
Okay.
Are there any items on there that really belong on a stop doing list?
Ooh.
And what could you be the absolute best at if you really focused your energy and resources? What untapped potential are you sitting on?
Those are some really great questions to consider.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Jim Collins.
It was a pleasure.
I hope you found it as insightful and thought-provoking as I did.
Absolutely.
And to our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in to the deep dive.
Yes.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing yourself to be the best that you could be.